Hi guys, okay, so hopefully you can see this because I'm using my phone to record the information on my computer. So let's hope this works. Okay, so this is how I do my budget. I do my budget a little differently from someone who has a fixed income because I don't have a fixed income. My income fluctuates because I'm self-employed. So sometimes people who are self-employed find it a little bit difficult to figure out how to do their budget. And it took me a couple months to figure out what I needed to do so that I am comfortable with um, with this zero based budget per se. It's not exactly zero based, but you'll see why. Okay, so at the end of each month, I've decided I need to have this amount in my account, $4,200. Why? Because if you look at the total of my expenses, it totals almost 4,200. Okay. Deposits. I get deposit throughout the month. It's random. Some months is a lot less. Some months it might be a little more. That's kind of an average. So again, I'm guesstimating. That's how much I will get in payments from my invoices. So we have this amount available to spend for the month. And then I have all of my expenses listed. I have my mortgage, my HOA dues. I have grouped food, entertainment, hair, nails, anything to do with that under one group. I've played with this number and I think this is a comfortable number for me. I don't do home improvement each month, so I left that blank unless there's something that I need to do. FPL, which is our lights, my car insurance, internet, cell phone, SunPass, which is our toll system, AFLAC, which is medical insurance, Netflix. As you can see, I don't have cable, but I have Netflix. I think it's a good compromise. Shopping, I've reduced that to $50, and I'm just gonna have to make it work. My medical insurance, gym membership, travel fund. Now, under Dave Ramsey's rule, you don't save anything for travel or nothing like that. However, I'll be turning 50 in a couple years and I would like to celebrate by going on a major trip. So I'm saving $200 a month. So when that time reaches, I don't have to use a credit card and go back in debt. I'll have the money already put aside in my account. All right. Tax reserve, that's so that I can pay Uncle Sam his dues. So every month I put aside $400 to pay taxes. Dry cleaning, I don't dry clean every month, but that's the max I would spend if I decide to dry clean. Gas, car wash, parking, if I have to do public parking, and sometimes they charge. Office supplies, shipping, E&O insurance, which is insurance for my business. I don't advertise every month, so again, I left that blank because that changes. If I have to send money to Trinidad or buy gifts, again, that fluctuates, so I don't have anything in there. And these are my debts. I have paid off a few debts, so now it has been reduced to this list. These are the monthly payments, the minimum payments that I have to pay to these debts I have left, as you can see. So the grand total of all my expenses is $41.49, right? So after you deduct from this $10,007, because this is how much I would potentially have if I get this deposit throughout the month, after I pay all those bills, I would have $6,500 left. Now, because my salary is not guaranteed, I already have $4,200 in my bank account to cover all my expenses. Because, you know, I don't know when these checks are going to come in. They could come in at the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, the end of the month. It's just sporadic like that. So I want to make sure I have money in my bank account at the end of the month to cover the expenses for next month. If you have a fixed income, you have a salary coming from an employer, you don't have to do this because you already know what your salary is going to be. So you don't need to keep a balance in your account like this. You would basically start from here where it says wages, and then you will deduct all of your expenses. And then whatever excess you have, that is going to go towards the first debt. Right? So I want to make sure I have $4,200 left to go to the following month. So after I deduct that from this amount here, I have $2,300 to play with. So I'm going to use that and put it towards the first debt. Again, this number changes because sometimes this number here is 3,000. Sometimes it's 4,000. So that number changes. That's why I have to make sure that I always have $4,200 to cover the bills for the following month at the beginning of the month, because I don't want to have to worry throughout the month, where is this money going to come from to pay my bills? And this has given me a peace of mind. And I know Dave Ramsey teaches you to do a zero-based budget. I think a zero-based budget works perfectly for someone who has a fixed income. You don't have to worry about where the next paycheck is coming from. So in your case, like I said, you wouldn't have this, right? You wouldn't have this. You just gonna put your wages here, right? That's how much your wages are. You deduct all of your expenses, and that's the amount you have left over. Now you're going to put that amount to your first debt, because you are going to end up with a zero balance. You wouldn't, you know, you don't need to have all of this. But let's undo that. Undo, undo, undo. Right? So yeah, so this is how I do my budget, guys. Again, these numbers are more or less fixed with the exception of my salary. That changes because I am self-employed. So I hope this helps somebody, especially if you don't have a fixed income coming in. So again, I just take the total, subtract whatever. Let's say, okay, let's change this. Let's say I only get $4,000 for the month, right? So then I go back down here. This is how much I have left over. So you see, I am short. I'm short. I don't have $4,200 to carry over to next month. I only have $4,051. I'm short $149. So I don't have any money to put towards I don't have any money to put towards a snowball debt, and I don't have $4,200. So what I need to do is to cut out somewhere, and the only place that's really negotiable is food. That's a time when I'll have to go on rice and beans, food and shopping. Everything else is kind of more or less fixed, or I just don't save to the travel fund that month. So, you know, you have to, when you're self-employed and your paycheck changes, you have to play with these numbers, and you got to make sure that you are being realistic with. So I know in order for me to have a good month, I need to bring in at least $5,000. If I bring in at least okay, I got disconnected. So like I was saying, so the minimum for me to be comfortable in doing my budget this way, I think will be about $5,000, right? Because when I deduct all my expenses, I have $5,000 left over, $851 to go to the snowball debt, and $4,200 to carry over to the next month, to pay the bills next month. This works for me. This method may not work for everybody, because I can see some people saying, well, why are you going to leave $4,200 in your account? You could put that towards a bill. No, 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 no. I need to know that that money is there to come. What if I don't get any money in throughout the month? What if I only get $2,000? So, or what if I get sick? When you're self-employed, you don't work, you don't get paid. So, you know, I have to have that as my cushion to make sure I have enough money in my bank account at the beginning of the month to pay all the bills for the next month. And then at the end of that month, I have to make sure I have again. And at the end of the month, I have to make sure I have enough to carry over to the next month, and so forth and so forth. When all these bills are paid off, then we probably do things a little differently. But for now, this is how it's going to go until I am finished with baby step 2. So once I'm finished with baby step 2, I will share more information with you as to how much debt I had, how I went about paying them off, and we'll get into more details. But for now, this is the budgeting system that I have. And of course, I use Excel. I also use the app Mint. The reason why I use Mint over every dollar, because every dollar you have to pay to link your accounts, and Mint is free, and I've been using Mint for years. So Mint does an automatic tracking of all of your expenses. I do use the cash envelope system for food and shopping. Everything else automatically comes out of my checking account. Every single bill is on auto pay. I don't pay anything physically. Everything comes out of my checking account. Nothing is paid by credit card. And food and shopping, I do the envelope system. If you add the two of them, it's $500. So that's been working great for me. It's been keeping me within budget. I have a new appreciation for every dollar that I spend, because I want to make sure I'm not spending frivolously, and then the last week of the month comes and I ain't got enough money to buy food. So yeah. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys next month.